Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is King Manye. Just jumping in here once again. I'm the leader and the captain of my destiny, and I will succeed because I believe I will. Hold up. Let me check it out. Yeah, so every now and then, I get inspired and go on and jump on here and try to share some of my experiences to detour people from prison and that lifestyle full of crime. You got nothing to gain, man. Nothing to gain to going in there and hanging out in prison and in prison yards. But no, real talk. I seen a video. Well, I didn't actually watch the video yet, but I will watch it. I seen the video titled by Hoodie Hood about do blacks check paperwork, and it made me think about all the times I've been in prison, all the places I've been, and how many dudes ever really check my paperwork, how many dudes really asked, and how easy it was to wiggle and just intermingle. It was like as though if you had tattoos, you knew how to press a line and act a certain way and just basically give a basic description. Like, hey, what you in here for? Oh, man, attempted. That it's like that was cool enough. Nobody ever dived into it really to see what exactly was the nature of your crime, who you were, and what's going on with your case. So it just makes me think about a lot of things, a lot of different issues, and I'm gonna get into them as long as I can remember them. So the first thing is I remember being in county jail, George Bailey, and there was a lot of people who were suspect in my mind. Suspect meaning I believe they were snitching. I believe they was talking to the feds, to the police, investigators about the nature of their crime. They was trying to get some leniency. They was trying to get out their crime. They was in there for murder. They was, and so in the county jail, San Diego County Jail, one of the things that y'all that have been there, y'all that haven't been there, this is what you need to know. They got these cards, these playing cards, the deck of cards you play spades with or you play pinochle. But on the cards in the county jail, on each card is a unsolved murder or unsolved crime. It's a case that hasn't been solved. And usually all of these cases, these murders on these cards are general knowledge to those who's involved in their lifestyle. Everybody knows who killed who. Everybody know who robbed what. Everybody know why whoop-de-whoop is missing. And if we don't know for certain, we heard what happened. So in the county jail, it's my belief that when dudes be facing time, they see these cards as a get out of jail free card or a negotiation crime charge. All of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? Because they know who did that shooting up at Dr. J's, and they know who. And so then, before you know it, a lot of unsolved crimes become solved because dudes in there, they use those cards to start talking and tell it. I don't know the specifics, but I know there's several ways. Number one, I've seen dudes dry snitch by talking on the phone, the pay phone. Everybody knows it says this call may be monitored. They say that about every 30 seconds, every 60 seconds. And this call may be monitored and recorded for, whatever, for law enforcement. They know if you're on that phone, the police is listening and the investigators is listening and the district attorney is listening. And so anything you want to tell them, anything that you want them to know, go ahead and say it on the phone to whoever you're talking to, because for sure, the district attorney's going to hear it. And for sure, the prosecution going to hear it. And so that's what a lot of people do. And so it reminded me of the story of Fat Frank, man, from Lincoln Park. He was my cellie, man. Back then, he was my cellie for a brief period of time. And I was... Let me, how do I put this? Straight up like this, he was suspect, man. He was suspect First thing I remember him coming back one time from a visit. And he came back from a visit and he told me how his girlfriend was accusing him of snitching to the detectives for a cheeseburger. Now that was hella out of pocket. That was hella suspicious. I'm like, nigga, you did come back with some cheeseburger on your lip. Nah, I'm just playing with y'all on that one. He didn't come, but she did say that. He came back and told me in confidence, and I was like, he was like, yeah, man, the bitch, you know what I'm saying, gonna tell me that the homies is saying whoop whoop, so I'm over here talking like that for cheeseburgers and whoop whoop. It wasn't nothing I really considered, just went through my ear, but it was just weird, like, your girl getting at you like that. And then next incident, I remember it was Fat Boy from Lincoln Park and Scrap from Brams. Shout out to the Bloods. So out of nowhere, where we at? I don't know. We somewhere. We in Bailey somewhere. I can't remember the 6 or 4 building, one of them. But all I remember is I see them on the tier throwing Fat Frank's mattress over the tier. Blood, you gotta go. Blood, you gotta go. They threw his shit out there. That nigga downstairs, he like, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going nowhere. So it's like a big standoff in the day room. Like a big, they basically trying to roll the nigga up. Ain't nobody putting hands on him or nothing, but they just really just grabbed his mattress and shit, threw it out the cell. Like, nigga, you can't be here. Get up out of here. And the nigga refusing to leave. As he refusing to leave, they not really firing on him either. So it's a big standoff. You got the Babylons looking in the tier. So it's just kind of like commotion. Babylons come in, boop, handcuff him, and take him out of there. They take Fat Frank up out of there. So, but anyway, fast forward, we like, what was that all about? You know what I'm saying? Turns out, they felt he was dry snitching on the phone, talking to his girl. You know what I'm saying? You know you facing all these murders. You know you got, you know, all type of shit going on with you. You know they listening to your call, and you over there doing bedroom talk, talking to this, your girlfriend or whoever you're talking to on the phone. You talking to the police, really, because you want the police to hear it. You begging for mercy. So little shit like that. Motherfuckers do shit like that. Weird ass shit. You know what I'm saying? So motherfuckers think they slicker than the game and they more creative. That, oh, I didn't tell nobody, I didn't snitch. It's the same shit, man. You know the police is listening. You know what you did, nigga. You know what you said. You know, so motherfuckers do that. Another way motherfuckers do a little snitching, a little dry snitching, is they talk to niggas who they know is telling. So just because I ain't telling, but I know that this nigga is suspect is telling, and I know that this nigga is, you know what I'm saying, he ain't scared, or you know this nigga's a bona fide snitch. He ain't scared to tell. And nobody like really fuck with him. Like, meaning like nobody's gonna say nothing to him because they know he'll tell on you. Nobody's gonna press on him. I done been in places like that too, where I done been in places where, and then now don't get me wrong, I done been in places where it was like, this nigga suspect, this nigga telling, and ain't nobody moved on him because they don't want to get told on. That's how the game then became. It then became like, shit, nigga, nobody ain't willing to crash like that. At the places I've been, it doesn't seem like people wasn't really willing to crash like that, so they just avoided them. But every now and then, you have people who think they gangster, they super gangster, like I'm so gangster, I can go talk to the snitch, and ain't nobody gonna do nothing to me. I see niggas who think they so gangster, I'm so gangster, I go talk to this transsexual, and ain't nobody gonna say shit to me. I'm so gangster, I can go talk to, so you got homies like that, people like that, and them people is the ones who suspect. Because even though on a like one-on-one tip, they'll probably knock you out, break your jaw, you can't really challenge them. You can't say nothing to them. But that's when the saying comes, ain't nobody bigger than the program. Just because a nigga can beat you up, knock you out, don't mean that the nigga it can just do what he want. Violate all type of rules. And that's where the game got watered down. So a lot of people don't want to challenge people. A lot of people don't want to call people out on their shit. A lot of people ain't trying to get their jaw broke. So they just let them roll, right? That's why we got notorious snitches right now walking around in Dago, and they say walking around. Why? Because they notorious knockout artists. And even if you walking around saying, we ain't fight that, I smoke that nigga, I shoot that nigga, you doing all that type of stuff. If you miss, he'll tell on you. So it's like lose-lose. You miss, he'll tell on you. You know what I'm saying? He'll tell on you, beat you up, break your jaw, still tell on you. You know, you got no. So That's the difference. And so that's why people fear and are scared of Charleston. Y'all know. Charleston Black. Charleston Black people are scared of him. And in prison, people scared of Charleston Blacks. People like him, they scared of him. Why? They stay away from him because he's unapologetic. You know how he coming. You know what he gonna do. You know he gonna tell on you. You got no win unless you're willing to knock him out, kill him, or unless you're willing to tell on him, or you can't tell on him. You ain't willing to stoop to his level. You know what I'm saying? You ain't willing to go where he willing to go and do what he willing to do. So this has nothing to do with responding to Hoodie Hood's video, but it was inspired by it, just by the title. I'm gonna go check it out. Always check out his video. Shouts out to Hoodie Hood. But this video is about just the little things that I noticed in prison. So yeah, you'll hear 187 on the snitch. You'll hear things like that, and people do smash them out. I have seen them get smashed out, but I also seen there be a lax culture. Now, back to the paperwork. So the paperwork, do blacks check paperwork? In my experience, I've shown paperwork. Nobody's ever required it. It was just something I always do because that's how I was laced, and I want people around me to do the same thing. When I go around you, I don't really want to talk to you. I don't want you to tell me what you're here for. You know what I'm saying? I want you to show me what you're here for. You know? But it got so, especially on the 50-50 yards, it got so to the point where you don't want to seem like you politicking because you don't want to get in trouble. You just want to get home, but you still want to know who you're around, but you don't want to be that guy that press and say, man, what's up with your paperwork? Because you don't know if this is an informant, if he's going to go run and tell on you and they're going to come cuff you up and make it seem like you trying to terrorize the community or something. So it was like a situation where I just mind my own business. Let me just mind my own business. I don't want to know nobody, nothing like that. And if you do try to get too close, just please address me the right way. You know what I'm saying? At least just come with your paperwork. So I just, you know what I'm saying, know who that is. But it never was required. And paperwork is this. In my definition of paperwork, it's different from everybody's definition of paperwork. That's why I never mention paperwork to people, because you mention paperwork to people, they get automatic suspect. They think you're trying to disrespect them. Well, really, that was just usually supposed to be just a way to introduce each other, introduce ourselves, and let you know that, you know what, I'm solid. I've been solid from the streets, through the county jail, throughout my case, and throughout my prison term. So there's ways to verify all that, right? And this is all prison shit. This is in there, and this is people living in that gangbang criminal lifestyle. This pertains to them. Anybody involved in prison politics, curious about it, want to know, this is how it generally should go. And it may still go, but based on my experiences, it varies. Never was required, like I said. But even though there was times I showed mine and stuff, and people showed me theirs, and it was because it was mutual respect. But so number one, what is paperwork? For me, paperwork is your police reports. I want to know your crimes you were charged with. All the charges you were crime with. I'm not going to necessarily hold it against the person, because people can get charged with all type of things. And that's just a dirty game. That's how the police play. It don't mean shit. Even if they was convicted of it, it don't mean shit. But I want to know what happened in the police report. I'm trying to see, what did you say when the police came and arrested you? Because they say you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you. Having me read these rights to you, do you understand? Do you waive your rights to talk? That's the first question they'll ask you. Do you waive your rights to talk? You're right there. You should say yes if you're involved in this criminal lifestyle and you're sticking to the G code. Then they'll say, do you want to talk to us? You will say no. It's that simple. And anything else other than that, by definition of how I was laced, you consider talking. Because anytime you get to engaging with law enforcement, exchanging information, giving them information. I didn't say solving a crime, but you're giving them information. You're giving them more than what they had. Okay? You talking. I didn't say you snitching, but you talking. And when you talking, man, if you talking, you will tell. And so that's how we was raised. And so it was no talking, no telling, man. You just that's how it's supposed to be. So number one, paperwork. What is paperwork? I need to see the police reports. I need to see, number two, abstract of judgment. Why? Because I want to see what the court sentenced you to. I want to see, does the sentence add up to the crime? You know, because I'm very knowledgeable and everything is public record. So I know that if you get caught with a gun, I know that that's 16 months. I know that. You know, I know that certain crimes, and sometimes they get double, but is it 12 months, 16 months, 16 and a half, 8 months, 16 months, something, man. I know when it sounds suspicious. I know when it, you know, it don't add up. And a lot of times when stuff don't add up, it's because there's some fuckery in there. You don't automatically accuse somebody of snitching or talking, but when something don't add up, it don't add up. But now, these days and times, nobody investigates. And that's part of the reason I don't check paperwork, because I believe if I check paperwork, I would find a problem with everybody's paperwork. Because I believe everybody is sitting down saying shit more than shit they ain't supposed to be saying. I believe my standard's so high, motherfuckers is talking. Motherfuckers, you know, they talking. Whether you telling the police where you from, you talking. You comfortable enough to sit there and talk to the law enforcement and bang on them and tell them where you from. Like, just because they know it's you talking, man. It makes me feel uncomfortable, right? Because you think you so clever, you can out-talk your way out the crime. And that's where there always becomes a problem. That's when something gets documented in there, and that's why solid homies, them being accused of snitching, whether they did or they didn't, they all was accused of it because they were talking. They said things that got misconstrued, and it was better for the whole to get rid of them. So I want to see police report. I want to see abstract of judgment. That's what it's called. When you go to court and get sentenced, there's a paper that the courts give that says abstract of judgment. Is basically records of all the minutes of your sentence. If you went to trial, I want to see your minutes, the transcripts from court. Everything that was said was typed up. Everything that the court said, everything that anybody said was typed up. I never went through nobody's shit fully. I'm not going to look through all that shit, but I get through the basic. Me personally, if they should come with all that, that's already a sign. Like, okay, they trying to be open. They're trying to be exposed. I mean, they're trying to be transparent. But in prison, this is the one where people got a problem with showing, and this is how I would get down. This is my push. This is how I'm coming. You know what I'm saying? And motherfuckers can't match me on my level. They have, you know what I'm saying, because it makes them nervous. Niggas you think is G's and gangsters and shit, nigga, I want to see your motherfucking endorsement papers. That's what I want to see. I want to see where did you just come from? What prison you just came from? What yard you just came from? Because when you in prison, what is that? So in prison, when you get endorsed, basically when you get transferred, you're about to get transferred, committee, they will have what they call endorsement papers. Basically, another prison is about to accept you. So, but it's all paperwork. When they transfer you from prison to prison, safety is a big thing because the prison doesn't want to lose a prisoner, and they don't want to mix you with your enemies if you have documented enemies. So that paperwork right there is the most important. That's the paperwork right there. You ask your G homie, you ask anybody who think they gangster hard, they gonna say they ain't got there, they never heard of it, they don't know how to get all that little bullshit. I don't want to hear none of that, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't, and that's why I don't ask people for it. But certain people in my circle and certain, that's how we rock, that's how we get in. So you weed out the real from the fake, man. It's a lot of fakes around anyway. They motherfuckers want to act like this and that, but I ain't scared. I mean, I ain't doing it. Motherfucker, where is your endorsement papers? Where'd you come from? The purpose of the endorsement papers is this. It's going to tell me what yard you just came from. It's going to tell me if you have documented enemies. And it's going to tell me what's your status. Because if you're S&Y, they have to put you in a little cage when they transfer you to another prison to protect you from everybody else on the bus. Now, even if they're doing just a bus transfer or a car transfer, it's still on that endorsement papers. So, and I don't want to hear they didn't give it to me and all that little shit. Go ask your counselor to get your endorsement papers. We want to know where you just came from. Okay, go get your endorsement paper. But this is real strict. This makes people feel uncomfortable. And when people feel uncomfortable, they tell and get rid of you. So I couldn't really press like this. But you know what I'm saying? This is really my motherfucking mentality. And so, yeah, I got all of anything I'm labeling, naming, I got to this day. I got all of that, man. I got all of that. Homies know. Everybody know. Why? That's how I am. But my standard is not your standard. You know what I'm saying? I be on some other shit. Okay, and then the last one, if you got the endorsement papers, that's going to show where your prison track record. Because a lot of dudes may not been a snitch on the streets, but motherfuckers start working with the police in jail and in prison. Meaning that they start thinking that they so much of a G status, nobody will believe it, that whatever they do will be overlooked. And that's typically how it goes. So a lot of these so-called G homies and stuff like that, they've been doing some funny fuckery up in this prison system, man. And this is King Monye. I said it and I don't regret it, man. That's what y'all been doing. I know about it. And so anyway, man, where's your endorsement papers? Okay. But I don't give a fuck, personally. But I'm saying when people even start mentioning paperwork and stuff like that, it gets deep. And a simple answer, do black check paperwork? Yes. You know what I'm saying? Don't make it like motherfuckers just hella loose. If you show yours, you righteous. If you don't show yours, motherfuckers won't want to fuck with you. Now, that's my take on it. Me personally, you showing me where your charges ain't good enough. Ain't good enough because I'm not so much worried about your crime. I know motherfuckers don't do no crazy shit on the street, really. You barely run into a nigga who done been out there molesting niggas. I'm talking about a nigga. You just don't run across that in prison. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? You run across niggas who got regular charges, but within the charges, they done some fuckery. You know what I'm saying? I just see niggas tell on niggas that they thought it was cool to tell on because that nigga killed their homie. That's weird shit, man, in that lifestyle. But, all right, this is a long video. It got longer than expected, man. I'm King Monye. I want y'all to hit me up in the comments. Let me know where I got it wrong at. Let me know where I was right at. Show support. And if you hear anything that you like, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Go ahead and share this. We're going to keep on kicking this content. I'm the leader and the captain of my destiny. I will succeed because I believe I will. You know, and I was sent here to inspire those who are great and sometimes tend to forget it. Remember, it's never too late to turn this thing around. Think before you act. Love yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself.